All right, looks like we're recording. And welcome everybody to the VIP Very Influential Person webinar. I am Sunil Bhaskaran, and I have Belew here as our speaker for today. And we'll be talking about speaking and how to generate live audiences and fill your room and have people actually show up. And Bill and I are creating this webinar series called the Very Influential Person webinar series. And it's designed to train you in how to become a very influential person. And we are presenting every week, and we alternate Fridays and Saturdays. Next Friday, I'll be on presenting at 10 a.m. So every alternate Saturday at 9 a.m. and every alternate Friday at 10 a.m. And we'll be doing about 30 minutes to 45 minutes of good informational presentation to you. So just a little bit about me before I pass it on to Bill. I've been coaching and training business people and influential people now for 24 years, since 1991. And love what we're doing here. Made a lot of people very wealthy. I myself have a network of about 20,000 people and growing. Bill and I combined have a meetup group.
We'll go there. I'm going to tell them in a minute. I'm going to show them.
I'll show it too. Yeah. And
I'm going to show them.
Yeah. So without much ado, let me introduce you to Bill. And Bill, let me give you 1 second here while I turn the reins over to you.
Yeah.
Take it away, Bill.
All right. I'm sharing a screen. You should be able to see when is a training course designed to fail. Can you see that?
No, don't.
When is a How's that?
Yeah. No, I see it. Yeah, I see it.
All right, good. I hit the button. I just didn't hit it hard enough. So thank you, Sunil, for organizing this. Thank you for inviting me. I'm nobody. I'm just an old man who's sitting in my kitchen making a living here, doing that sort of thing. Every now and then I get asked to come out of the kitchen and go speak to people, and that's happening more and more often. And so as part of our Very Influential Person series, I thought I would share how that happens. One of the things we like to do as an influencer is be asked to speak. Well, now, of course, some people don't like speaking. It is said, I'm not sure it's true, it might be anecdotal, that more people are afraid of speaking than they are of dying. So if you ever go to a funeral, the guy in the box is probably more comfortable than the person giving the eulogy. And if you were to look at it, it's probably true, all peaceful laying there and whatnot. But it's very, how can we say this? It's very hard to dispute the fact that one of the best ways to change people, to have an influence on people's lives, is to be in a room on a stage with a whole bunch of people in front of you who have chosen to be there because they want to hear what you have to say. So if you're in a room and there's a bunch of people there who opted to hear you, or maybe even paid to hear you, well, then you're in a very good place of wielding some potential influence. And for good or for bad, I get to do that. And so I'm going to share with you how to do that. I wanted to show you one upcoming speaking engagement I have. You can see this as the World Education Conference. This is next week, a week from Monday, August 1st. I'm sorry, a week from yesterday, I guess, August 1st through 4th. It's in San Francisco. We know where that's at. This is 2015. That's this year. It's new, it's current, it's relevant. We go to the program. We go to meet the speakers. And we scroll down and look at that guy. Isn't that terrible? I'm not quite sure he is. I think that's my twin brother, because he was attacked and they put a suit and tie on him. And because I wouldn't wear that intentionally. But that, of course, that's me. I'm giving a presentation So you have an event. How do you get noticed and people to attend? It's at Moscone Center. Those of us who are local to the Bay Area know Moscone Center. That's the largest venue, largest professional conference venue in this whole area. It's a big deal. The World Education Conference, they're expecting about 2,500 people, and they are event organizers or people who support or cater to the event organizers. So there's a whole group of people sitting in a room whose job it is to put people into rooms. Well, that's an interesting crowd. Their job is to, how do I get more people into my room? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. And then, of course, they want more speakers. They want better speakers. They want better attendees. And then everybody goes home happy. And that's the crowd I'm going to be speaking to. And so this is just one indication of, if you follow the steps I'm going to share with you, at some point, you'll be in front of the people that you want to be in front of. The strategy is not incredibly difficult. The execution requires some very I don't want to call them difficult words. I call them the Entz brothers: persistence, insistence, diligence. You apply these Entz family. You have to be diligent. You have to be persistent. You have to be intelligent. The more of these characteristics you can apply to your life, the more opportunities you have to be able to speak. So 2 webinars ago, I talked about how to build a presence online, how to establish yourself as a credible person online. Well, if you don't have credibility, if you don't have an online platform, the chances of you getting to speak are almost nil. Now, nothing's impossible, and there's always, aberrations. There's always somebody who's going to do something different than what I said. But if you have an online platform that establishes you as a credible person, where you've been pounding away on, I know this topic, I know this, I'm an expert in this field. Once you've been able to do that, then you become visible to people who want you to come speak to their group. So the very first step to becoming a speaker is to become a credible source in your expertise. And the absolute best way to do that is to go online, create a web page that says something like billbelew.com or sunilbhaskaran.com or kahayamind.com or whatever it is that it is your expertise. Is you establish your spot online and then deal with your field. Talk about the experts in your field. Talk about the conferences that you would go to. Talk about the problems that you would solve. Talk about the solutions that you have. Talk about the desires your clients have. Talk about the obstacles that your clients need to overcome and how that would be done. And just build that on your website such that people will say, wow, my goodness, this person knows me. They've thought about me. They've thought about my desires. They've thought about my problems. They've offered solutions. They're in my location. Put that on a space online so that when people search it out, they find you. So that's step number 1, is to establish yourself as a credible person online. Now you can do that on your website, but we want to speak, right? Okay, we want to speak. So here's a tool. It's not the only tool, but it's a very powerful tool that I use, and it's called Meetup. Meetup.com. MEETUP. MEETUP.com. Meetup. Meetup.com was launched in the week after 9/11, and so it's created by some folk in New York City. Right after 9/11, we know it. I mean, there was havoc, there was chaos, people were running around, and one of the creators of Meetup was standing there before Meetup even came into his mind. He was standing there saying, "Look at all these people running around trying to get organized. Look at all these people trying to meet each other. They're trying to figure out how to group together so that all the bucket carriers can be in one area, all the dust sweepers in another area, all the rag makers in another area. How can these people all get together?" So it dawned on him, we should create a space online where people can gather together to meet up around common themes. And that was it. That was the launch of Meetup.com. Now thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of different meetups around different themes later, here we are at Meetup. And so what I did, and this is just, here's a page of the meetups that I own or belong to. We go back to content marketing strategy in Silicon Valley. And come on, don't let me down now. There it goes. Launched in December 6th, 2009. So it's almost, it'll be 6 years old this year. I've got 400 members of people who are interested in content marketing strategy. Well, I use WordPress, and so I launched a meetup called Silicon Valley WordPress for marketing. So I do marketing. You'll see there's marketing, marketers, not meetup, bloggers and writers, marketing, search engine optimization. Everything is loosely related, but directly related to the marketing world or to website building. So I created these meetups on these different themes, all connected in one way or another, because I can't do 12 meetups a week. I'd go nuts. I can do one meetup that will apply, that will be interesting in some regard to any one of these groups here. But look at it, there's 325 WordPress marketers, 154 online marketers, 1,000 bloggers and writers, because bloggers are content marketers from way back, 530 business marketers, SEO, how to do SEO. Holy cow, we got to know how to do that. 845 of them, and so on. So look at all these people. 624, 916. I'm going to show you. There's Sunil peeking out over here. I'll show you his results here in a minute. So just by creating a theme that's within my expertise and launching it on Meetup and connecting that to my website where I've already established myself as a person. This is Business Leads Organically Generated. That's me. I'm doing this live because I think it has more impact. I go to my dashboard. Come on, please don't let me down. Oh, good, I'm happy. There, posts. I've got 1,300 posts. I got almost 1,400 posts that have been published here. So I've written about blogging and writing and marketing 1,400 times on my website. Well, if you write 1,400 times, you have to have something of value, I would think. Otherwise you're just, I don't want to go otherwise. 1,400 times I've talked about marketing or blogging or how to build your online presence or how to do WordPress and so on. So I've established myself as a go-to person online. Now I'm going to take that credibility and I'm going to move it into a physical setting where people can come and sit in front of me. And I did that. And I went back to, I've been doing this for about 6 years. And as a result of doing this 6 years, you can see the numbers for yourself. This is how many people have signed up. Of course, there are some duplicates. Some people belong to more than one group. That's neither here nor there. But people are now signing up with a specific intent of learning from me about these areas that I've established myself as a credible person for. Well, look at that. So the strategy for getting real people into the room to listen to you as a very influential person. I forgot to say this at the beginning. At the end, we're gonna make an offer. No, I'm not gonna sell you something, so don't hit the delete button. Even if you did, it's not gonna change my life. If you stick around, it will change your life. We're gonna make a special offer. It's free, and there's not gonna be sales. It's just something that you got to stick around to listen to. So we're gonna have. So creating the online presence on my platform, billbelew.com, establish myself as a go-to person. Next step was to create a physical setting where people could come and meet me face-to-face. And here I did that with the meetup. Now, the strategy behind this is to offer a lot of good topics for people to talk about. Now, it's the same strategy for building your presence online. Storytelling. You are the solution provider. You can fulfill the desires of your demographic. You can teach your demographic how to overcome. You can tell your demographic, your persona, your avatar, whatever you call them. You can tell them that if they were to be involved with you, you could change their life in a certain way. They would have different results for their life. So it's, who do you serve? What do they want? What obstacles can you overcome? How does that play out in their life, and where can you do that at? What are the physical locations where you can do those things? You tell those stories online, and now you get to tell them in person. And if you tell those stories a lot, you tell those stories. The word is quantity. I want to do a lot of these. Now, don't stop listening. Say, Bill likes quantity over quality. If you say that, I'll throw up on my dashboard. That's not true. It's not only a lot of stuff. It has to be a lot of good stuff. Of course it does. But we offer a lot of information. The fundamental principle of being online, this is part of the search engine optimization principle, the fundamental principle of being found is to give people more reasons to find you. I'll say, duh. So put yourself out there more often. The more often you put yourself out there, the more likely people are to find you. Too many people want to write a book. One book, I wrote a book and they want to put it on Amazon and they want to go to the beach and think, how come nobody reads my book? Well, good luck with that. Let me know how that works for you. So the more often you put yourself out there, the better it is for people to find you. So doing it online in a virtual platform, doing it in a physical meetup type setting is the same principle. Offer a lot of meetups. How many? Well, as many as you can, as many as makes sense for you and your topic and what you have to say. Do a lot of meetups and more people will find you. Now, the next principle is offer good meetups. They have to be quality meetups. You can't just say, well, let me tell you about content marketing. Content marketing is creating content and then sending it out to your market. Okay, see you guys next week. Nobody's going to care about that. When they come to my meetup, I open up my dashboard. I show them I show them actual results of real people and say, now, here's how you actually construct your titles. Don't do it like that. Do it like this. Make it substantive. Bill, if I tell everybody everything I know, they're not going to hire me. They'll hire you anyway. Most people want to know whether you'll tell them or not, and even you tell them they're not going to do it. They would really like for someone to hold their hand and walk them through the process. So tell people good stuff, right? Tell people good stuff. So do a lot of it, do it well, and then the next thing is to do it consistently. Do it weekly, do it monthly, do it bi-weekly, whatever it works for you in your meetup, your physical presence. People need to know where they can find you. Of course they do. They need to know where they can find you. If they don't know whether you're going to be there this week or next week, if you do it once a month and they miss 1 month, it's going to be 2 months. By that time, they've forgotten who you are. You're going to need to find a consistent pace where people say, wow, every Monday I'm going to find Bill over in Los Altos at the Bridges Community Church. It's not a church thing. They let me use the building. I am a Christian. I'm not embarrassed about that, but they let me use the building. So people know where they can find me. I have on the meetup schedule, every once a month, I'm here eating lunch. You're welcome to come join me, this kind of thing. So I have a consistent, regular schedule where people know where they can find me. Sometimes I charge, sometimes I do it for free. That's beyond the scope of this presentation. But what you want to do is offer a lot of meetups, make them quality meetup, make it worth people's times, and then do it consistently. Stay with it until the idea catches on. The number one reason why businesses fail is not because they lose money, not because they got divorced, not because their supplier dried up. The number one reason why businesses fail is because people give up before their idea catches on. Now, there's a reason why they gave up, but the end result is they actually gave up. Don't give up. If you're competing with somebody else in the same field, be sure they have the same problems you do, and they're going to get tired. When they get tired, don't get tired. When they get tired, you don't get tired. When they feel like giving up, you don't feel like giving up. Just keep on going. Just keep pounding away, pounding away. Okay, now there's one more principle that I'll come back to. So we got storyline, solving problems for you people, right? We've got quantity. Let's offer a lot of good meetups with good substance. Let's make it qualitative. Let's make it worth people's time. Then let's do it as often as it makes sense for us, for our group, and it's physically possible for us. So those 4 steps. There's one more step, but before I give you the last one, I wanted to show you this thread I alluded to in the beginning. This is in a forum, my forum. Forum's free. There's no ad. I'm not trying to sell nothing here. When is a training course designed to fail? Every now and then, training courses are designed to fail. Holy cow. You mean you went through all that trouble so that it wouldn't work? There are people who go through a lot of trouble, and the end result, they did it so it wouldn't work. I don't know, why would they do that? I don't know. So I was accessing this online program. It was a really good program. It's got lots and lots of promise, and lots of people have used it and probably have succeeded at it. That's why I was enrolled in it. That's why I was taking a look at it. But when I logged into it, holy cow, look at this. There were 209 videos. 209 videos in this program, and they ranged from 5 minutes to 55 minutes. It probably went longer. Holy smokes. 209 videos. And there were more than 50 downloads. I got tired of counting. I was getting too frustrated. And then I added up the hours. I went through click, 209 times. I clicked and I wrote down the time, click, wrote down the time, click, wrote down the time, click, wrote down the time. There's over 40 hours of stuff to watch. In an MBA program, I taught an MBA level class. It was a 48-hour class. I only taught for 16 hours. And then we worked for 30 hours where I gave them physical feedback back and forth. So you don't need to tell anybody for 40 hours. And then, so 16 hours, that's enough for me to tell you what you need to know to make a difference. And then, this is serious, there are 3,899 comments. 3,899 comments where somebody said, well, this is nice, or I learned this here. Now, if I wanted to read that, and it took me 10 seconds a piece, 10 seconds, and some of them take longer than that, 10 seconds, that's 38,990 seconds. Whoa. Divide that by 60, that's like 600 hours or something. It would take me just to read the comment. It'll kill me. All right. Now, in the interest of this person, the interest was to way over deliver. Of course, you absolutely positively should over deliver. But when you get into the over deliver, you venture into the overwhelm, and then you eventually get to the overkill. You don't want to go there. What we want is a program that's manageable. We want a program that give me 5 steps and tell me how to do that so I can make a difference. Don't give me 500 steps and expect me to get lost and figure it out for myself. So you see where I'm going here. So this program, I'm sure it's a great program, and I'm going to put my head down because I want to learn this stuff, but it's going to kill me. So you better talk to me before I die, because there's just so much stuff there. So I want to back up and say, now I'll give you 5 steps. 5 steps, right? First, establish yourself as a credible person online. That's it. And you do that by telling the story of how you solve problems. Establish yourself as a credible person online. Get your website, get your Belew.com or SunilBhaskaran.com, and start solving problems on there. And set up your meetup, right? And your meetup, start telling people in the meetup about the stuff you had written online. Okay, that doesn't take a rocket science there. You don't have to think for a very long time. What things you have been writing about on your website, that's really good stuff for real people. All right, now let's talk about it in a real life situation to meet up people who are signing up to come hear you. Now let's do that as often as we possibly can. Now let's do it as well as we can. Let's do it as qualitative as we can. Let's make sure people got substance. If you don't have something useful to say, don't hit the publish button. If you don't have something to say that's useful, don't invite people to come and sit in front of you. They'll think you're an idiot. Tell them good stuff. And good stuff is measured by the stuff you put on your website, and you'll know whether that's any good or not, because you will see traffic come. If you write stuff on your website and nobody comes, it's because it's no good. If you write stuff and you put it on your website and people come and read it, you know it's good. That's real feedback. People say, I want feedback. It's not true. People who say I want feedback, what they really want is for people to say nice things to them. Well, that's not feedback. Feedback is when you put something online and nobody reads it. That's feedback. You put something on that nobody cares about. Feedback is when you wrote something online and people read it and interacted with you. That's good feedback. They saw it, they thought it was worthwhile, and they responded to it. Nothing will beat creating a website that has high quality content in your niche that you can use to bring to a physical platform. So you want to be a problem solver, you want to do it a lot, you want to do it well, and you want to do it often. That's number 4. And then number 5, this is my last step, is you want to stay with it until it works. Longevity. Don't give up. I alluded to the number 1 reason why business fail, because people give up. Don't give up. I don't know how many times I've said this, and I'll keep saying it because it's true. Make absolutely sure that there are competitors in your field, and they're trying to beat you at what you do. You're trying to beat them at what they do. Everybody gets tired. Everybody has a little girl who wants to go to the beach, and I would rather go to the beach than work. Everybody has these same hard pulls. Everybody has these same conflicts. Everybody has these same, I don't want to call my little girl distraction. That's true. Everybody has, other things they have to do in their life. Everybody has a reason to not work. So when your competitor finds his or her reason to not work, you keep working. When they decide, I'm going to give up for whatever reason, I'm going to go on hiatus for whatever reason, don't give up. Keep going. Now, absolutely find that balance in your life. Sunil is the master of balance. I'm the master at imbalance. I have never been any good at that, so don't pay any attention to me. That's why Sunil's stayed married all his life, and that's why I went through the divorce once, because I don't know how to do balance. And so do balance. Of course you have to do balance, but stay with it. Create credibility online. Tell your story a lot. Tell it well. Tell it often, and keep telling it until the idea catches on, and you will be standing in front of people as a credible speaker. Now you have to learn how to speak, and that's beyond the scope here. But here's a really, really, really important question. This will be my last thing here. Is, does it work? Does this strategy work? If I have good stuff, and I've established myself as a credible person, and I want to start offering more, and I want to do quality, and I want to do it consistently, and I want to keep at it. The question is, does it work? Well, I'm going to answer that question for you, because let's go here. Can you see this, Sunil? This
yes, I can.
Excel spreadsheet, right?
Yes, I can.
All right. So now there's a whole lot of numbers on there, and quite frankly, anybody can make up a lot of numbers, but it's really, really, really hard to make up this many numbers. Okay, so this is a record of what's been going on. So what happened was, and you can see here, 31 May, Sunil and I have known each other for quite some time. And we've toyed around with the idea of wrapping our meetup groups together. He's got his meetup groups, I got my meetup groups. He does entrepreneurs, he does startups, he does businesses, he does lead generation, he does networking. And I do marketing, which is hit pound, 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 pound until people pay attention. Well, not quite. So there's a loose relationship there. And so we decided to partner up. We decided to mesh our efforts to see if we couldn't get better results. Now, I'm not going to take full credit for this, but I'm going to take some of it. So on May 31st, let's see if I can, there's May 31st. See, May 31st, there's the first number of when we created, when we combined our efforts. And what we did was we started offering more events to my group, and specifically we started offering more to Sunil's group. Now, Sunil had some history. He had some longevity. You can't speed up longevity. You can speed up quantity. Just do more. Hire more people and pay them more money and do more. You can speed up quantity. You can speed up quality by knowing the parameters and doing this better. Just keep doing better. And consistent. You can manipulate consistency. Instead of once a month, let's do once a week. Let's do twice a month. Whatever. You can do that. But longevity, you can't speed that up, right? You can't go back in time. So Sunil has some history here. That's really important. And so from his history, we started offering more content. Look at that. We started offering more meetups. I started pitching my stuff to his group. He started pitching his stuff to my group. But there is, that's May 31st. On May 31st, there was 12,160 members between our two groups. See, I'll go back, watch your slide, May 31st. Now here's July 24th, so not quite 2 months. We'll call it 2 months just for round numbers. In the last 2 months, almost 2 months, we went from 12,000 members to 13,600 members. You can see the number there, right? Look at it. It went from 12,100 to 13,600. 1,500 new people, 1,500 new people are now signed up to our meetup. They came and signed up because they wanted to come and be there and say, hey, I wonder what these two guys have to say. One's really weird, the other one's kind of stable. That's good. But the only difference is we started offering more, and we started offering better, and we started offering it more often. And my groups were pretty regular. Sunil's is not as regular, and it's not a criticism of him. And again, I'm not taking full credit, but you can see in May he had 1,600 people here. Now he's got 1,620. Now he's got 1,750. Look here. Here he had 770 people. Now he's got 1,000. Look, that's 230. That's a 30% improvement. From 30% is easy if you go from 7 to 9. Who cares, right? But he went from 700 to 900. He went from 700 to 1,000. Now he has 3 groups. Congratulations on that 3rd group this morning. He's got 3 groups with more than 1,000 people in them, right? And then he's got San Francisco Business, 400, Training, 600. So he went from 550 or 5,500 members to 6,300 members. He grew by almost 800 people in 2 months are now signed up to come hear what he has to say. And how did he do that? Well, the way he did that was he applied what I just told you. He has a credible source online. He started standing up in front of people more often. He started doing it very well. He kept on doing it very well. He does it more often than he used to. And he's now going to stay with us for a long time, aren't you, Sunil?
That's right.
Are you going to give up and say, this works too well, I'm going to stop doing it?
No.
No, of course not. And at the same time, there is my number, 6,600, right? During that same time, I went from 6,600 to 7,300. So I grew 740 people, 750 people. Sunil grew almost 800 people, 770 people.
Yeah.
So the answer to the question is, does it work to tell stories that solve people's problems? Does it work to establish yourself as a credible person? And then tell that story often, tell it well, tell it as consistently as possible, and keep telling it. Does it work? There is the numbers. It works. Hello, it works. So we can go back to Meetup, and now I'm going to refresh this page so you know it's much. It's current. I cannot manipulate that. Well, I'm still whining here. Come on, Meetup. But there are the numbers. See, there's Sunil, 398, 1,021, 1,750, 1,700, 690, 500. These are and it keeps going. Look at that handsome fellow. Woo-hoo, right? And 300, 400. So that's as new and as fresh and as current as it possibly can be. It works. Hello, it works. Now, the special offer. So here's what we offer here. You go to my VIPSS, my very influential person strategy session, myvipss.com. It's free. Don't run. Okay, go ahead and run. Doesn't matter. Hit my VIPSS and it will take you to nowhere. No, I'm kidding. I'm in my kitchen, so please don't let me down now. There you go. See, it takes you back to my website. It just redirects here. But there is an application to become a very influential person strategy session, my VIPSS. And then you can read. And then here at the bottom, there's an application. Fill out the application. It's free. I'm not going to take any money from you. That's not the point here. And you hit submit, and then it's going to show up in my email box, or it's going to show up in Sunil's email box. and Sunil or I are going to call you. You can put down there when there should be one more box that's bad cop, good cop. And you say, I want good cop to call me. It doesn't matter. Either Sunil or I are going to give you a call. And we're going to walk you through about 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to do a strategy session with you. And you go, oh, so where do I start? Sounds like a lot of work. I don't know what to do. Well, you will know what to do. Sunil's going to give you, he's going to help you with that, or I'm going to yell at you. No, I'm kidding. So there's the offer, and it's 45 minutes with Sunil. You know how much money they pay? Somebody would pay him to do that? No, I can, yeah, a lot. Yeah. So I sit down with a couple. I tell people, and I get paid this. People who know me know I'm no nonsense. People, I say, I'll sit down with you for a couple hours. You can give me $500, and if it's not worth it to you, I'll give it back to you. And if it is worth it to you, you can take down $500. But $500, so $250 an hour, $300 an hour. And what we do is strategize. Well, Sunil's offering to strategize with you to decide whether you're material or not for becoming a very influential person. See, if you talk to Sunil, he's going to say, yeah, you're a good person. I think there's potential there. If you talk to me, I'm going to say, yeah, you need to go back to work, and you're an idiot. Again, I'm trying to be unkind, and I'm not doing a good job of it. So that's my VIPSS, right? Watch me, myVIPSS.com. And then it redirects to this page, and fill out that box, and then Sunil, most likely Sunil, but maybe he gets pretty busy. I mean, we got like 14 people signed up this week, so 14 times 45, 45 minutes. That's a lot of time on his part. So if he can't manage it, then you might get stuck with me instead. So if you want to become a speaker, if you want to wield your influence as a speaker, this is how you do it. Okay, last thing. Next week, there's a webinar for next Friday. This is my email. Make sure I don't have any weird emails coming in here. Oh, good. This is Breakthrough in Sales. Next week, it's a webinar, Sell to Satisfaction While Being True to Yourself. You don't have to compromise your integrity to be a good salesperson. No, you don't. So you're in the right place. The secret starting point in sales, the steps that lead to resistance, and how to handle concerns effectively. So this is Sunil's next webinar. Yep. And then my next webinar, I'm gonna. I hope Steve Cartwright's not listening. He probably is. I'm going to talk to you about how to get a Twitter following, and he's going to laugh. He laughs in Australian. He doesn't laugh in English. He laughs in Australian. I don't know how. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm going to want to tell you how to get a Twitter following that actually works. And so anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If there's any questions, Sunil, I can answer questions. Otherwise, I can pass it back to you.
Do you see any questions? You're the host currently, so
I don't.
Okay. All right.
I got to go look at that.
Okay.
I don't. Maybe why don't you take it back and then see if you can check out the questions.
All right. So again, thank you, Bill, for that great presentation, and it's very accurate. Now, I've been in the industry just like you for a long time, and those of you listening in, you want to really take it to heart. I mean, what we've given you is some really top level guideposts for you to take on. And I know some of you may be really asking the question, well, how can I really apply this in my life in the details? And the details are where the beauty lies. Most training programs will not give you the details. What they will give you are some really simple guidelines, and then they kind of leave you there. So when we do the session with you, or a strategy session which you want to really apply for, you want to make sure that you, well, first of all, sign up for the session, but make sure you fill out those questions well, because I'll be looking for those pointers, and that will help you ascertain, A, is there a market for what you do? B, what would be missing for you? What do you need to really put in the next 1 year to really turn the ship around for you, so that you get to do what you really love to do, maybe even escape that corporate job or the drudgery of what you're doing, maybe doing right now, and do something you really love to do that takes up your time. That's what Bill and I love about doing this. You notice it's a Saturday morning, but we do this because we love doing it. It's our passion, and we want you to have that as well. But it takes some work to do. There's certain specific steps. Everybody's very different. So, Bill, there's a question here from, I'm not sure who it is, so I can't see the name. Do you need to be a speaker to make money out of blogging? That's the question. You want to take that?
No, you do not need to you do not need to be a speaker to make money out of blogging. Speakers, I like speaking. Blogging, if you have a good website and enough people are coming to your website, and it's all predicates on the fact of whether people are coming or not. If people are coming to your website, you have options. You can put advertisement up there. You call up Google or you do the online thing, and you text. You put up display ads, it's called. And so when people come, they see ad, they click on the ad, you make money. But you have to have you have to have enough traffic to do that. Well, how much is enough? It depends on the market and the product and your topic. So if people are coming and you have enough people coming, you can put display ads. It's like going down the highway. You see billboards. It's the equivalent of putting a billboard up there. Another way to do that is you can sell somebody else's product. Somebody has created, you're trying to teach people how to bat right-handed. Somebody comes to your website, they want to know how to hit it left-handed, and a friend of yours wrote a book on how to hit it left-handed. You can put his book up on there and sell that. You sell somebody else's product. You can sell a product you have created. You might have written a book, you can sell your book. You can sell a service that you offer. And you might have created a course that people want to follow your course. Or you can set yourself up as a consultant, or in my case, you can set yourself up as a consultant or a speaker. So by adding all these things together, when people come to your website, they're going to say, hey, how can you serve me? And the way you do that is providing relevant ads or a relevant product or a relevant service. But if nobody comes to your website, you'll never make any money.
Correct. Yeah, it's absolutely accurate. If you really, the heart of it is to really determine if you're really appealing to the market or not, and if you have the structure set up to reach out to people and to the right people. Everything that Bill said is accurate in terms of quantity, quality, frequency. It's just pure math. If you apply the math, and see, math is not enough, because you got to also look at your vision and make sure that the math you're doing, all the structures and the systems you're putting in, are, you could say, in alignment with who you are. Because if you implement a system and you reach out to people, but what you're saying doesn't match how you really feel about stuff, then it's going to start sounding really weird, and it may not land as effectively. So you want to really put all that together. It can be a kind of interesting, complicated jigsaw puzzle for some of them. Most of the time it is. And what I found useful in the past is having the mentors to help me put that jigsaw puzzle together for you. And Bill and I love to do that. I'd love to see more people getting out there and becoming experts. We talk to a lot of people every week, and different people have different interests, different ways of expressing themselves, and everybody's got something to say in a different style. So if you think you have nothing to say, think again. It may be that you just haven't crafted the message well enough, and you just need to implement the system that Bill talked about. And there are a couple other things too, including how you do your day-to-day work. Because if you don't do your day-to-day work effectively, then, well, all of the above doesn't work. If you have a great plan, you have a great market, but then you don't do anything effectively every day, you could be delaying your rise to being an expert or an influential person by a couple of years.
Or you could end up divorced and single again.
That's right. You could end up divorced and single.
And I don't want to belittle the fact that that's happened, because I love my kids and all that sort of thing. I don't want to,
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to denigrate people who had to face that situation, because it wasn't fun. It isn't fun, and I laugh at it only because it's a while back. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't have a balance,
yep,
things get out of whack. When things get out of whack, there's a price to pay.
Yeah.
But it's manageable. It's doable. You just have to put your head down and figure out how it works in your life, and that's where Sunil is a master.
Yep. Hold on a second. I'm wondering why my screen sharing is paused. But anyway, what you want to go to? Can you see my screen, Bill?
I can. The application. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. Good. So let me check and see that.
So we're coming up on an hour. I want to respect people's times too.
Yeah, we gotta sign off here. So to complete the call, again, we thank you for your kind attention. We recognize that all of you came to this call for a reason. We hope that we satisfied that. I think we have, based on some of the comments I've seen by email. And again, make sure you go to myvipss.com and fill out the form there. And do it as soon as you can out of courtesy to us, because our time is filling up. We've already had quite a number of applications from the last week. And I don't think I can do a session this week, but I do have slots open for next week, as does Bill. So make sure you get on there before our schedule fills up. And we look forward to supporting you. And anything else to say, Bill, before we complete?
No, I'm good. Thanks for giving me your Saturday. And thanks for those who signed up but aren't here. We know people sign up and can't be there on Saturday because they intend to listen to it later. And that's perfectly fine with us.
Yep.
But I'm here, and but I'm not here much longer because my little girl's waiting for me. We're going to the park. See you later.
So if you want that kind of great lifestyle and be a great speaker and have 13,000 people and 800 or 1,000 people per month additionally joining every month. By the way, Bill, I measured the stats on that. We're actually increasing the number of people who are joining. So in other words, our acceleration of our group is also growing.
Yes, I was watching that too. So we were afraid of it. It's going to die. It's going to die down sooner or later, but it's not yet.
Not yet. No, we got a while to go. So again, if we want to share that with you and share how we do that, so make sure you sign up for that session on myvipss.com. And we look forward to seeing you in the future. Those of you who are in the recording, you're definitely welcome to sign up for that session as well. And we look forward to serving you in the future. Have a great Saturday, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.